Flynn's absence, President Trump has named retired Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg as acting National Security Advisor, said to be considering Kellogg, along with former CIA Director David Petraeus and Vice Admiral Robert Harward, for the permanent position.
Chief White House correspondent John Roberts is live with the very latest story. John, how did this all unfold?
Shannon, good morning to you. You know, you can kind of see it progressing throughout the day, and in fact, I would say probably over the last 2 weeks, maybe even going all the way back to the controversy over Flynn and potentially trying to get trying to get security clearance for his son. I mean, it's the sort of thing that looks like it's been a long time coming, and you could bet the Democrats are only going to say, well, this is the tip of the iceberg. You know, who was Flynn acting on behalf of when he was having these conversations with the Russian ambassador? So the White House is driving the narrative this morning, and it is in their interest as well to drive this narrative that it wasn't the phone calls with Sergei Kislyak, the Russian ambassador to the United States, that did him in. It was the fact that he had given misleading information to the vice president, who then went out and repeated it on national television. Let's read a little bit from Flynn's resignation letter of late yesterday, where he said, quote, "I inadvertently briefed the vice president-elect and others with incomplete information regarding my phone calls with the Russian ambassador. I have sincerely apologized to the president and the vice president, and they have accepted my apology." They also accepted his resignation. Here's more from Kellyanne Conway from a short time ago on Fox.
The fact is that the president is a very loyal person, and he has a team here that serves him very admirably. And in this case, information had been forthcoming for a while, but the situation had gotten to, I think, a fever pitch yesterday, later in the day, such that it became unsustainable.
It was a difficult decision for the president to make because Lieutenant General Michael Flynn had been such a loyal soldier. I went to numerous events across the country, Shannon, during the election campaign where Flynn got up there and introduced the president, offered a spirited promotion of his public policies. I was told that the president was willing to hang in on Flynn, but then Flynn decided that, you know, he was becoming too much of a distraction and had to go. And it was really interesting yesterday, too, to watch the body language on this, Shannon, because you had Kellyanne Conway come out about 3:30 in the afternoon saying that the president has full confidence in Flynn. I mean, that's the kiss of death in Washington. If anybody ever says that to you, start looking for a job. And then I heard from a senior administration official that some other things were going on, and then we actually bumped into the president in the hallway. And we asked the president about Reince Priebus. Is he doing a good job? He says, no, not a good job, a great job. Then we asked about Flynn, and he said, we're about to put out a statement. So you look at those two contrasting pieces of body language, you knew at that point that Flynn was toast.
Yeah, and a lot of folks also looking at that handshake between the vice president and Flynn walking into that joint press conference yesterday as well. Okay, so now we move on to the next step. Who replaces Flynn? Tell us about the leading candidates.
Well, senior White House official tells me that the leading candidate is Vice Admiral Robert Haward. He's there on the left. He was the former deputy commander at CENTCOM, and this is very interesting, too. He served under General James Mattis. Mattis, of course, is over at the Pentagon, and you could have a pretty tight line of communication between Harward here at the White House and Mattis over at the Pentagon, should Harward become the National Security Advisor. He's a Navy SEAL. He's with SEAL Team 3. Spent an awful lot of time in special operations in Iraq and Afghanistan. He was in the NSC under President Bush back in 2003, was also assigned to the National Counterterrorism Center. This guy is described by senior White House officials as tough as nails, a real rock, no games, the type of guy you'd want to have at the president's ear. Also in the mix, General David Petraeus. He has been a favorite of President Trump's. He was looking for a job for him here at the White House, but felt that he had too many generals. And then, of course, Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg, who is the chief of staff of the NSC and the acting National Security Advisor. Looks like Harvard's probably got the inside track. If they do choose him, he could start as early as Friday, I'm told. Shannon?
Well, time is of the essence on this particular topic. John, good to have all the updates. Thank you for following it minute by minute.